Welcome to the GSBC podcast. I'm your host, Pastor Jay. Please join us on Sunday mornings at Green Street Baptist Church at our 11 a.m. worship service. And we are located at 179 Green Street, Melrose, Mass. Today we have in the studio with us Melvin Murphy, executive producer of Celebrate the King, a gospel musical play. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Pastor Jay, God bless you. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Before we discuss the play, could you please share a little bit with our listening audience about your arts and musical background?
I'm a writer, producer, director. Over the last 2 or 3 years, I've gotten more into playwriting. But my background is music, gospel music, playing in the Baptist Church, Lodge Baptist Church in Boston, writing music. I'm also the chapter rep for Massachusetts of the Gospel Music Workshop of America, founded by James Cleveland. I travel there. I also teach music there, work with the men's division and also their mass choir, which is a great organization. Currently, the minister of music at the First Baptist Church in Saugus, Massachusetts.
Okay. Could you share some of your musical projects? Because I've seen you've done a couple of CDs, singles. Could you share a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. I've been doing this recording since 1985. We did a live recording, the New England Mass Workshop Choir, where I wrote most of the music and collaborated with a lot of other gospel greats in the city of Boston. Went on and we did another live recording at my home church called We Come to Praise Him. It was a community choir, combined a bunch of great singers, great musicians, came together, had a wonderful time. And all of my music is, a little plug for myself, I guess, can be found online, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, where I wrote most of the music. And then recently just collaborated with Stephen Hurd from Washington, D.C., great praise and worship singer. We did a couple of songs with him. One we did not release yet, but Wonderful God, we did that and we just released it probably about 6 months ago. Went really well, a lot of work. I don't know if I will work with artists again because, you work with artists. It's a great opportunity, but it's a lot of extra work. Okay. As opposed to just working with someone that and you get to do it your way. A lot of them have their opinions, which is, it's totally understandable. But those are my projects that I've done. And then, of course, this Christmas one that we're getting ready for December 17th, 18th, and 23rd.
Oh, great. And what are some of the musical artists that inspired your love of gospel music?
I used to grow up, you wake up in the morning, you would hear David Adams on WILD in Boston, and he would play a lot of gospel music. Of course, it starts with James Cleveland. When he did that live recording with Aretha Franklin in '72, that just kind of put me in awe. Then from there, the Hawkins, Walter Hawkins, Edward Hawkins, Oh Happy Day, those hit songs kind of hit me, and it was the contemporary song of that time. Keith Pringle and the Pentecostal Community Choir, If You Confess the Lord, Call Him. Those were really big hit songs at the time. And of course, Keith Pringle sang with James Cleveland as well. So I love them all. Those are the ones that really, really inspired me. Of course, there's a lot of other great singers, but that crew right there is what got me really into gospel.
All right. So could you also, I see now this is the 5th year you're doing Celebrate the King. Can we expect any new scenes or music from the previous years?
This year I really tried to do to add a different dimension as far as the background. I want to do a video background. We may still do it because they're still in contact with me. But when people move too slow, I just try to keep it going. But we really want to do more highlights with the video background and the staging, add more great lighting. That was one of the things we wanted to do, and we're still kind of working on that. The other thing is I enhanced the Wise Men scene. So that's an add-on. We had them sing last year, but we didn't really do a scene with them per se. So I kind of added a little flavor. Now, just to remind you, it is a modern day version, so I have to really try to be creative. And I even thought about how would I do Herod the king? You know, would I make him look like a gangster? Or so I wrestle with those things, but I don't want to just do things just because, you know, I want it to make sense. I want people who come see the play. I think a lot of people know the story, so I didn't want to deviate from that too much. I wanted to keep it in its perspective and not go too far over the top.
Okay. So what inspired you about this project and to arrange the musical for a more contemporary or modern day version of the birth of Christ?
I mean, growing up in the church, every year you did a Christmas play, you know. You wore the costumes and the crown, the wise men. It was just so traditional, and it was great. But I wanted to really try to do something a little different. And I said, what if Christ was born in 2022? And I actually got the idea. I was reading a newspaper. I don't know if it was a Reader's Digest or a newspaper, and I saw a little picture, a cartoon picture of these cartoon men crossing the Red Sea, like Moses had parted the Red Sea, and they were in cartoons, and they were picking up rocks and taking selfies with it. And it would say, what if Moses parted the water today? And it would show the people taking selfies in the water while they were, picking up collections and stuff. And that kind of turned the light on in my head. I thought it was hilarious, but I also thought it was really, really cool. And so here we are. I said, well, let me give this a try. We got the salon scene and, cell phones, laptops. I said, let's give it a try. And it's different, too.
Okay.
It's not the standard. It's not the norm. And so I get bored real quick with doing things the same way over and over. So this idea kind of hit me, and it kind of stuck. And I think when I brought it to the cast, they loved it. We were having fun with it, especially the gossiping in the salon scene.
So this is a family affair, and it's reaching all different ages. I mean, everybody can connect to it from the past, present, and what they're looking for towards the future. Millennials, the Zs, and all that.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a family event. It's a story of Christ, birth of Christ, Mary being called by the angel, and having the baby Jesus. It's still the same story. So it's definitely an inspirational musical play, and it's for everyone. And there's no rated PG or PG-13 or whatever those other ratings are. It's all, and then everybody's dressed with today's standard. But we want to make sure that we did everything tastefully, and still dress appropriately. With today's way, which is, I don't have a problem with, but not on stage, not when we are representing Jesus Christ. We really want, and also, we're not trying to make any type of political statements while we're doing. We know with all that's going on in the world, we just kind of decided to let the focus be on Christ, and not so much as on everything else. From Black Lives Matter to whatever. We thought about those things, but we decided, let the focus be on Christ. So it is a family event, and I think everyone will love it if they attend.
Yeah, given that we're in the Advent season, this is definitely a good preparation leading up to the birth of Christ.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Could you share a little bit about the cast who are performing in the play?
We have a tremendous and a phenomenal cast of actors and singers, and I think one year when we were at the Hibernian Hall, someone pulled me to the side and they said, "Wow, where'd you find all these great actors who can sing?" and one of them is, which your wife, who we love dearly and who I've worked with for years and grown up with, Sister Ada. That's my buddy, my friend. She's just so talented and a wonderful person. A few of them had acting experience. They were really good at it. They've done other shows, but then the majority of them were just singers. So we had to work with the singers and teach them how to do this and do that. And they grabbed onto it really, really, really well. So a lot of them are friends of mine from way back. I was very articulate about who I chose to work with. The people are all hand selected. This year we have a few younger people that are participating. When I say younger than me, kids from Berkeley, They come in and they're very talented and they want to be a part. But that was probably the other difference too, that we're looking to keep who we have, keep our core, but we want to implement young people as well.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. In producing Celebrate the King, did you compose most of the music or?
Yes, sir, I did. I didn't want to pay licensings and copyrights to other artists. I think the year of the COVID, the Hibernian Hall staff contacted me and they said, we need some inspiration in the world. So they said, we're going to videotape it. And so I started thinking, okay, videotape, I don't want to videotape other writers and other producers, other artists' music, and then get a bill in the mail. Oh, great play, by the way, you owe us $50,000. So I sat down and started thinking of each scene and started writing music for each scene and tried to make it sync up, which I'm kind of making it sound very easy right now, but it was a lot of work on my side. But I also enjoy the music. I love writing. The good thing about writing my own music is when I come into rehearsal, no one can tell me how the song goes. Okay. I can say, no, this is because, sometimes when you're working with other great singers, they go, well, it doesn't go that way. So that was a plus for me to do it my way, write it my way. And then, like I said, to own the rights and the licenses, we want to own the product. Now, we do other music, like your standard Christmas tunes, Chestnut Roasting on the Open Fire, I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. A lot of the standard. We do a spiritual song, Hold On, Just a Little While Longer. It's like a Negro spiritual that we implement that we sing towards Mary. But the core of the music is written by me. And I wanted to do a diverse set of music. I think the one style I was thinking about that I'm missing is something a little bit more choral, that a choir can sing chorally. Joy to the world, the Lord. I'm missing that. I sat back and said, I'm missing that flavor. But, maybe next go around we'll add it.
So part of your musicianship, what inspires you when you were putting these songs together and trying to figure it out? You're trying to keep some traditional as well as modern day. How did that all come about?
Yeah, you have to always consider your audience, even in church, you have to look at the people that are there. Even at the church I play with, I do diverse. I don't just do contemporary, or I just don't do songs that I like. I do some songs that I don't like, but everybody else loves. It's almost like you invite people to dinner. You have collard greens, whatever, different flavors of food. Everybody doesn't like and eat the same thing. So I always thought it was important to mix your music up. You get an older crowd coming in, you get a younger crowd coming in. We got the finale song, which you probably hear probably about 2 minutes of it, but if you listen to it towards the end, we got a rapper rapping on it, which appeals more to the young, of course. But different flavors of music is always very important to mix it up and give people a little bit of everything.
Oh, okay. Now, for yourself, what do you do to self-educate or learn more about producing musical plays and how you keep fresh? I have to learn how to, and this is a problem with me, I need to learn how to just be me, stop beating myself up. I overthink a lot. One thing I realize is that my worst songs or my worst scenes, everyone else love them. They love it. The songs I wrote that I hate, the whole world loves it, and then vice versa. The songs that I hate, or that they hate, I love. So that helped me to create a balance. But I think as a writer, you just write. You do what you do. I was talking to a friend about Edgar Allan Poe, writer that we studied about in junior high school. And I still like his writings, his poetry. Back then he was a crazy man. This guy is crazy. Like, what is this Nevermore, rapping at my chamber door? They gave him a real hard time. But if you look at today, like, it's just turns a light on and the people love it. He's very popular. I don't know if you know, but he came up here in Boston, by the way. So I learned from that. You read about other writers, what they've gone through, what they went through to write. And that motivates me. It inspires me. It encourages me to just kind of be yourself when you write. Do you have any mentors that you kind of lean on and get some advice from as far as writing? And musicianship?
Sure. I mean, I hear so many, what I do sometimes, I probably shouldn't give too much away.
No, don't give it all away. But,
I'll grab little pieces from different songs and I'll say, I like what they did there. And then I'll hear another song, I like this part. And I'll just grab it all, change the words and tie it all together to make one song. But I think a lot of people do that. You hear something and you want to emulate it. So you just take it and grab the style and throw it in. Even from the secular music, you hear it, you love it, you want to implement it. Film writing, theater writing is new for me. I used to write little plays at the church, and tried it and used to try. And so here we are. But I love it. I have another one. I know this has nothing to do with the Christmas one, but I have another big one that I'm focusing on. As soon as I'm done with this, it's going to be. It's not a spiritual play, but it's a good play, musical. I love musicals, where I have to shoot for Broadway. I'm shooting for the stars for that one, and hopefully that one will come out good. But even then, it's this jazzy music. It's based on the 1930s. And there's a jazzy side of music back at that time, how jazz was the music of the day. So it's challenging, but, you just jump out there and do what you think is best.
Mm-hmm. So what words of encouragement would you have for aspiring musicians, like the ones you have from Berkeley and individuals that would like to become music producers?
One of the first things that I look at when I talk to a musician, I look at and I listen to the first few things that come out of their mouth. Yes, we need money. You got to make money. You got to live. But if you're money driven, then it probably isn't for you. And when I call and talk to other musicians and singers, if money is the first thing that comes out of their mouth, I'll know, well, maybe this project isn't for them, because we're not in it for the money. We do give people donations, of course, but we're not money driven. We're in it because first of all, we love it. We're trying to send a message, the message of Christ, which is great. And God has opened doors for us. The Kroc Center there, they were phenomenal just to work with. I mean, I can't tell everything, but they work with us, and they really collaborate to make sure that we're able to get in there and do our performance. And some of them even attend. I think the head of the place came a couple of times, good. Which was a plus for us.
Yes.
But I usually try to encourage musicians, to do it for the love. Do it for the love first. If you love it, then the doors or the windows will be open for you. Be fresh. Try newness. Don't ever get stagnant. And you have to, with everything, you have to keep working at your gift. You have to work at your craft. Nothing's going to come easy. It takes time and a lot of patience. So those are some of the key things I usually say to young musicians.
So they really have to have a passion.
Yeah, your passion for it and just wanting to do it and being creative and wanting to just collaborate with anybody. Don't be set in your ways. Don't just say, well, this is the type of music that I do. I know a young man, a rapper in Boston. He's a gospel rapper, but that was all he did. And I used to tell him, I'm like, why don't you, add something? Because we were doing a concert down at the Charles River, outdoor concert. And, the people were buying the choral music, the gospel, the choir music, which I had. And, his raps were really great, but they just weren't interested in just rap. Mm-hmm. And I told him, when you do a project, like I mentioned earlier, mix it up, throw a traditional Amazing Grace in there. So you can say, hey, Amazing Grace is on the album. Oh, by the way, there's some rap, but there's some, and you have to be diverse. You can't be stuck in one set way.
Okay. All right. Any final thoughts you like to share before we wrap it up?
Just want to remind everybody, celebrate the King. This is our 5th year. We're doing 3 shows this year, December 17th and 18th. That's a Saturday and Sunday, start time 4 p.m. And then we threw in a third day, December 23rd, which is a Friday night, 7:30 p.m. It is a family event. Come on out. We could use your support. And I also think that you're going to really, really love it. We have another young lady Abby, I forget her last name, but she's a phenomenal singer. She has a phenomenal voice. They can all sing. Also, he asked me not to put it out there yet, but Elon Trotman, who's a very popular saxophonist in the city of Boston, is going to be with us this year, and we are, oh my goodness, we are so excited to have him. All of the musicians are great, but we're also ecstatic and excited that people want to come and be a part of what we're doing, and you know, they just want to be involved. I get plenty of calls. I send out a flyer, and then people are like pinging me and calling me, and they're saying, I want to be in your play. And I have to explain to them, I'm like, I sent the flyer out because the play is done. It's ready to go. Yeah. It's not an audition flyer. I have to keep explaining that to people. They go, oh, well, I could be in the play. But I'm like, it's finished. We have a cast. It's done. It's ready to go. But it is encouraging to know that people want to be a part. So I just want to encourage everybody to come on out. If you love the Lord, let's support the gospel of Jesus Christ. I know there's so many other secular things going on, but we could really use your support. The gospel of Jesus Christ and the message. And I really believe you're going to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely Elon Trotman. Yeah,
yes,
he's got quite a few CDs.
Oh, that's the man right there. I couldn't believe it. I said, let me call him and just to see it. I'm not really supposed to be promoting him right now. I'm supposed to wait till after the 10th because he has a big gig. But I said, let me call him just to see, because he's a good friend of mine, and he was excited. He was happy to hear from me, first of all, and then he had some time to come in and do some work with us.
Oh, that's going to jazz it up a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Well, again, celebrate the King, the gospel musical play. As Brother Murphy has said, December 17th and 18th at 4 p.m. at the Salvation Army Ray and Joan Kroc Center at 650 Dudley Street, Boston, Mass. And on December 23rd at 7:30 p.m. I am your host, Pastor Jay. I want to close this segment with the finale song, Let There Be Peace.
Listen, I wish I could give you the answers. Life had unlimited chances. Wish I could move with the dancers. I wish I could live to your standards. Man, I wish I could follow your plan. I understand I'm only man, but you only gave one night span. One time, get it right. It's in our hands. I just never take your advice. Can't let go of this vice. Way too hard to live right. Hands up for the reset button. If you really a believer, you don't reset nothing. I need prayer, consistent faith, restored revival. Actions more than just reading my Bible. Wash these demons out. I'm your disciple. Devil cannot wait. I break the cycle. World is upside down. They worship idols. God is coming